Okay, and we are live. Me and my esteemed co-host Dan McNew couldn't get by without him. I want to thank everybody for joining us on the Royce in the House YouTube channel. And this is our live podcast that we try to air every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We appreciate everybody that's already joining us. People are filling into the chat, and we appreciate everybody that watches later. I think it's 206 or 7 videos now, and every single one of them are available to be watched at any time you'd like. I mean, we love it when people come in the chat and join us. That's definitely preferred. And we have as many non-subscribers as we have subscribers that watch the channel when I look at my analytics. But I want to urge everybody to please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. If you hit that notification bell, we'll send you a little notification, in case you want to join us. We've got a lot of good shows out there, and the show is growing. I have a contest running right now. I've had 2 or 3 contest entries. I just posted the contest yesterday. I was celebrating, 200 videos on YouTube. It was also my big push to 700 subscribers, and they've been picking up. And we really appreciate all of you. And got a lot of good people in the chat. We've got Mike, pre-code fan. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining us, buddy. Much appreciated. Caitlin Stoddard, your good friend Caitlin Stoddard, who I always refer to as our own Caitlin Stoddard. We've got Angela. Hi, Angela. How are you? AZ Mix here. Great. So we got a good chat going here tonight. I've got my green hat. I've got my green beer. This is the last chance I'm going to have to do a podcast before the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. So I thought we'd do a little something different. And tonight is going to be all about Ireland. And we're going to be talking about Irish bands, Irish actors, Irish fighters, male and female. We won't get into too much detail, but we're going to touch on all this stuff just for fun. And so we'll go ahead and get started. I mean, Ireland has produced a lot of amazing people, art people, writers, musicians. I'll start out with one of the most famous bands from Ireland, and that's U2. U2 is a fantastic band fronted by Bono, of course. Everybody knows Bono. He's one of the most famous people from Dublin, and his actual real name was David Hewson, frontman for the band U2, famous for his in his own right for his political activism. He's got a lot of causes, and they're all good causes, organizations that help many around the world, especially in Africa. So he's a real philanthropist, and we appreciate that about him. So Bono and U2 are one of the more famous bands and people to come out of Ireland. After that, we've got oh man, we've got so many here. Hey Dan, you wanted to talk about, what was it, Thin Lizzy to start, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was a fan of Thin Lizzy back in mid 70s, I guess it was. I actually saw him in concert one time.
Okay.
But to me, they were kind of a bluesy band, actually, because Gary Moore was in the band. He was kind of a blues player. But with Thin Lizzy, that was 1977, I believe I saw him in concert. And I was just looking up. I can't remember when Phil passed away, but once Phil passed away, the band pretty much went away. And out of that band was Gary Moore, and Gary Moore went on to a pretty good solo career. Gary Moore, that guy was in quite a few bands too. I know he was
great guitar player, fantastic guitar player.
Definitely a blues type guitar player, very good.
Right. No, he was great. Yeah, he did a lot. He was very famous, So now you said Gary Moore. Now he's passed away, hasn't he?
Yeah, he died. I think about 11 or 12 years ago.
Okay.
Let me see if I got a graphic of him. Yeah, there's Gary Moore.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was reading about him a little bit recently too. He had
a huge resume.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Boy, I've really got a little something going on here. I got to fix on my screen. All right.
Now,
Okay. Okay.
I think probably the most famous song he did as a solo artist was "Still Got the Blues." That was his big one.
Oh, was it? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Then we have Gilbert O'Sullivan, and
Oh yeah.
uh, he had a big hit, "Alone Again." Um, he ascended to the top of the Hot 100 for 6 weeks in 1972. He was no one-hit wonder though in the United States, not like the one we mentioned a minute ago. He had four more top 40 hits, including "Claire," which went to number 2 in 1972. So he was big too. Um, let's see. Then we have Inya. She's probably better known for Oronico Flow or Only Time. Inya's biggest chart success actually came from her involvement with Mario Winans. I Don't Want to Know. The song went to number 2 in 2004 and samples the Fugees' "Ready or Not," which is actually based on a slowed down sample of Inya's. All right, so then we had Snow Patrol. Now here's one of my favorites, and it right behind you too. I don't have any YouTube music right now, Dan. Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. I mean,
You
I
know,
had I had some at least one or two CDs years ago, and I don't have any right now. All I've got is green beer here.
I just never was a big fan of U2. I'm not sure why.
I
Uh,
wasn't a huge fan, but they had a couple of hits that got a lot of
yeah,
play on MTV and stuff that I liked.
yeah.
And but Van Morrison, oh my God, uh, chart hit, Moondance, or Brown Eyed Girl. It's the up tempo Domino. Remember the song?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Domino, Domino, Brown Eyed Girl. That was a song we gave my oldest granddaughter, Brown Eyed Girl. And
Well, Kiss has a song called Domino, and when it first came out, before I even heard it, I thought it was a remake. It was going to be a remake of that original song by Van Morrison, but you know, glad it wasn't. I kind of like the Kiss version too.
yeah, he had four other top 40 singles, including "Wild Night." So yeah, he's great. He's great. I read an article one time that he was in a contract that he wanted out of, and he was required to produce X amount of more albums. It was one of those things where he didn't really care too much how that he just wanted to get through them and save all this good stuff for after he fulfilled that particular obligation, was moving on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was I don't know what albums they are. Maybe I have one. I don't know. Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor. She was huge, very popular. Did you like Sinead O'Connor?
I saw her on SNL when she tore up the Pope's picture.
Oh, SNL. Yeah, that's
But
right.
is she still alive? She's one of these people that
You know what? I don't know that for sure. Does anybody in the chat know if Sinead O'Connor is still alive?
because she definitely dropped out of the public eye, and I could have swore I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's
And
true.
she had shaved her hair off her head, hadn't she?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of her look back in the day. My hometown Chicago team made it. Okay. Caitlin, good. Okay, let's I want to get some of these comments in here, because we've got a great chat. I love everybody in our chat. Just wanted to tell you, I never do contests, but I'm seriously thinking of entering yours. It sounds like fun. Mike, that'd be great. I would really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm celebrating 200 videos. I think I'm at 206 or 7 now. I waited a couple of days, and my subscribers have been going up and stuff like that. But I have 200 videos, and I've been starting to do a lot more little fun shorts. But yeah, if you would, it's all about my celebration of my 200 videos, but also my drive to get to 700 subscribers. And there's been a lot of people subscribing just in the last 2 days. So we'll see what happens. Win, lose, or draw. We're having fun here, and that's more important than anything. So anyway, yeah, Mike, if you wanna hop in there, please do. It's not a very hard contest, and all the rules are laid out, on my channel under contest. I created a separate playlist for contest. And Caitlin's entering the contest. Let's see. The contest sounds fun. You know what? And that's what everybody's saying. I've had a few people already enter it. Just let me know
Yeah.
when you enter and when it's going to play, so that I have the opportunity to watch it and then add you to the list of people that are in there. And
Yeah. There's a picture of Sinead O'Connor right there.
oh yeah,
Not
yeah. Okay,
kind of
thank
behind
you.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I read it. Her son passed away, is what it was. It wasn't her. It was her son.
I am rocking the hat. My wife went downtown today, and I said, "Oh my God, if you can find me a green derby, please buy me one." So I was actually surprised when she came home with one, and then we found some green dye for my Pacifico. Well, my father was Irish English, and my mother was Sicilian. So I had, had both the Italian mafia and the Irish mafia in my house. Easy, Mick, brother Royce. Yeah, Caitlin. Hi, Mick. Okay. This coming week, my family and I are visiting the Jack Daniels Distillery. It's not Irish, but what they say. Hey, you know what? You know what, Precode? Mike, thanks for saying that, because one of the things I wanted to talk about was Irish whiskey. My youngest daughter and my son-in-law, he sold his bicycle business. He had one of the biggest online parts distributing businesses in the world for a long time. He really made a lot of money on it. But he sold it to people from Ireland, some corporation. He went back to visit, and he brought home this Irish whiskey. And you know what? It was better than any of the scotches I've had. I haven't had like high end. I mean, Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, Glenmorangie, which is better than both of them, either one of those, and a few, few things that were more than 12 year, maybe 15, 17 years single malt scotches. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, be perfectly honest with you, that 10-year Irish whiskey Clay brought me home was better than any single malt scotch I've ever had. And another Irish whiskey that's better than better than any single malt scotch I've ever had is this Redbreast. I mean, you want some good Irish whiskey. This Redbreast is some good Irish whiskey. I mean, it really is. And I mean, I'm not a big whiskey drinker, but from time to time, I'll go through a phase where I'll try some different stuff and try some of the single malt stuff and whatever I can afford of it. And this Redbreast, though, this 12-year, I tell you what, I have not had a single malt scotch better than this Redbreast. And another one that's excellent is Jameson. Jameson is an excellent tasting Irish whiskey. And they have a couple of different brands. They have the stout and the regular Jamesons. And they have one, I can't think of right at the moment what they call it, but it's got a cork in it. The rest of them are just a screw cap. This one has an actual cork. And that is the best Jameson of all. It's a couple of dollars more a bottle than the other stuff. But so anyway, yeah, whiskey. One of the names I was going to bring up, I'll bring it up now since we're talking about whiskey, is Conor McGregor, UFC fighter from Ireland. And man, we used to just love watching Conor McGregor. What a showman. He was like Muhammad Ali. He'd come out and showboat and prance around, and this funny walk he had, where he swung his arms. And I just loved that trilogy between him and Matt Diaz. Nate Diaz. Diaz won the first one. McGregor won the second one. And they were always really, really close fights. And then McGregor came back and won the third one. And that was really great. Then it was that Russian fighter, Nurmagomedov. I can't really say his name. It's really hard to even read it and say it and have it in front of you. But he beat McGregor up pretty damn bad. And after that, McGregor had, I don't know, 6-year fight contract with the UFC. And he's every once in a while he'll do one. But where McGregor really scored financially was his fight against Floyd Mayweather. And that thing, I mean, I've heard as much as $100 million McGregor got for fighting Floyd Mayweather. And it wasn't a UFC fight, it was boxing. And no telling what Floyd Mayweather made. He must have made 2 or 3 times that much. Just insane amounts of money. It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to go in the gym and sweat and stuff when you've got $100 million sitting in the bank, you know. But anyway, so
Where does that money
so
come
Conor
from?
McGregor, I, I think it was, I think a lot of it was worldwide pay-per-view, because that was a really popular fight. And anyway, so on the subject of whiskey, he has his own distillery now. Conor McGregor does, and the name of Conor's whiskey, and I haven't tried it yet. I see it every time. It's on all the shelves. It's called Proper 12. It's got his name on it on the back and stuff like that. It's Conor McGregor's own whiskey, Proper 12. And so anyway, we were talking about musicians, actors, famous people from Ireland. This is an Irish show. We talked about Thin Lizzy. We talked about the Cranberries, another band named the Scripps. Another famous actor to come out of Ireland was Colin Farrell, one of the most famous people from Dublin. And he needs no introduction. He's gone on to star in some of Hollywood's biggest movies, including Intermission, Phone Booth, and he also starred with fellow dub Brendan Gleeson. Okay. And then, of course, Maureen O'Hara, famous actor from the silver screen, starred with people like, John Wayne and, people from that era. Let's see, John Wayne, James Stewart. Did you ever used to watch those old movies, Dan, with James Stewart?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I still watch them every now and then.
Yeah. I don't have a channel that plays the oldies right now. We do have satellite, Dish Network, but I don't subscribe to the HBOs, the Showmaxes, and all that right now. I do have Netflix, and you'd be surprised. You'd think with the 100 channels or something like that, you'd have a ton of things to choose from, but so much of it's just advertisement and junk.
Well, I get there's an over-the-air channel that I get here locally.
Okay.
I think it's called Grit TV, and it's got all the old westerns, John Wayne
Grit. Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, I think that channel's been around for a while. I think we've had that before. But yeah, I used to like that. I used to watch all those, Jimmy Stewart, John Wayne, and Audie Murphy,
Yeah.
little Audie Murphy, one of the most decorated Marines, I think, in World War II.
Yeah. Or ever.
And, I mean, all the way back, I mean, there was so many of those, all the way back to Roy Rogers and the Lone Ranger and so Randolph Scott. Remember Randolph Scott?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch all those. One thing I did watch. My mother was from New York, and she knew all the old famous, actors and actresses. And these shows were old when we watched them together. And I don't know where my brothers and sisters were, but it always seemed like it was me and my mother sitting in the living room watching some, Marilyn Monroe or movies with Maureen O'Hara. And there'd be like a Marilyn Monroe movie on, and my mother would lean close to me and whisper. We're the only two people in the room, and whisper some rumor about Marilyn Monroe to me in a real low voice.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, I think it was on NBC. They used to have a thing called Saturday Night at the Movies. And
right.
They'd always bring those old movies back. Well, they weren't so old back then, but
Right.
We used to love those old movies.
So anybody here ever drink any scotch or single malt scotch or, I've dabbled with it from time to time, but I'm honestly not a big drinker at all. I'm having this green beer because it's St. Patrick's Day, and I'll have a beer, in the evenings from time to time, but it's not an every night thing. I don't drink daily, and to be honest with you, I never have, and I don't know why. Well, no, I can't say I never have. I used to drink all day long in my youth. Okay. Up to a certain age.
I drank a lot during my Pantera days, hanging out with those guys.
Right.
Not anymore.
I can imagine. I mean, you're with the band. You got to drink.
Yeah, that was required.
They'll lock you out of the hotel room.
Speaking of old shows and everything, something I discovered. This kind of mixes old TV shows, old Western TV shows,
right,
with rock and roll.
Okay.
Do you remember a show called Circus Boy?
No.
Yeah, it starred Mickey Dolenz when he was Circus.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and they have a lot of those shows are on YouTube for free.
I bet Kate's got a copy of that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see Mickey Dolenz. He's probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old,
Okay.
and he's the star of the show.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
that's
Okay.
how he got his start.
Right. 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 And of course, we have another famous writer from Ireland. And who hasn't heard of Brian Stoker? If you've heard of Dracula, you've heard of Brian
Oh
Stoker. Okay. His book got the inspiration from many places and much research. Anyway, he he was real popular. Samuel Beckett, a famous Irish writer. Beckett is one of Ireland's most famous story writers, novelists, and poets, and was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1969. Famous for the play Waiting for Godot, regarded as one of the most discussed and praised authors of his time. That's amazing. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so let's see. James Joyce, best known for his book Ulysses. James Joyce, one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. Oscar Wilde from Dublin. Anyway, so let's see. I think we kind of went through a list of. There's actually an extended list here of musicians, songwriters, etc. And I'll just, I'm going to just read through this a little bit. If somebody wants to comment on something, look at Kate Stoddard, Werewolves on Motorcycles. Now, who wrote that, Kate? Yep, Circus Boy. It took, okay. Mickey as a kid. Moving forever to get to the point. So that was Mickey Dolenz and Circus Boy.
Yeah.
Okay. What a trip.
And the years that had to be like in early 50s, mid 50s.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Angela, thank you. Okay, you have to mention James Joyce.
I think you did.
Yeah, I think I did too. Let's see. I think I just recently mentioned it. Okay, let's see. Bram Stoker. Yeah, James Joyce. Yeah. From Rathgar. Best known for his book Ulysses. Yeah, no, I just mentioned that about 5 minutes ago, but thank you, Mike. Okay, so I'm going to read through a list of other musicians. And if anybody has anything they want to say about them or comment on them, hey, One Crazy Mama's here. Hi, One Crazy Mama. Good to see you. I actually subscribed to her channel today. I went and watched a few things and subscribed. We're having kind of Irish night here, in case you hadn't noticed.
Go
ahead.
Probably one of the most famous Irish ones that you haven't mentioned yet is the Lucky Charms Leprechaun.
Oh yeah, that's right. So anyway, I want to tell everybody about One Crazy Mama. She's got a YouTube channel of her own, and I'd like to give her a shout out. Interesting channel. A lot of people come into her chat and things like that. And I stopped by and said hi today and subscribed to her channel. And I thank you for showing up tonight, Crazy Mama. We appreciate that. Okay, look at Angela right here. She's like, hi, Crazy Mama. Good to see you. I seen your message and followed you back. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I hooked up with you by watching somebody else's show and saw you in the chat or the comments. I'm not sure which. Anyway, good to see you here. Thanks a lot for showing up. We're having a little fun. We're talking about Ireland. We've been talking about Irish musicians. We've been talking about Irish songwriters and actors, actresses, fighters. Hi, Angela. Yeah. Okay. You're getting to know some of our people here. Okay. All right. So let's see. I had something else here that. Okay. Yeah. James Joyce, influential writer. Liam Neeson, amazing actor. Michael Collins. He was a revolutionary leader. fought for. I think he led the fight for Ireland's independence years ago. Katie Taylor. We talked about Conor McGregor, but Katie Taylor is actually a reigning lightweight champion of the world, and actually held the belt in two different weight divisions. And she's an Irish boxer. And I was really impressed when I read that. I haven't been following boxing like I used to. It's not as easy to follow. I came from boxing's golden era. Muhammad Ali and all of those great fighters. Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, the list is just endless. Larry Holmes, and kind of go in and out of being excited about that. I really got into the UFC for a while, but I haven't been watching as much of that yet lately. Do you watch the UFC, Dan, or any boxing?
I don't watch anything like that.
No. Yeah.
Don't box. I don't know nothing. And one of my good friends is actually a manager in.
Oh, is that right?
In wrestling, he's the bad manager, where everybody boos and hiss when he walks into the arena.
That's funny.
Now, I keep telling him I'm going to go to one of the matches, but I'm just not into the wrestling thing. I'm just.
Yeah.
Now I was when I was a kid.
I know. I was when I was a kid. We used to go to big time wrestling, and there was one time me and my buddy George, we were 16 years old, went to the Las Vegas Convention Center, and they were having these wrestling. It always looked so fake. And, some black fella had become the heavyweight champ wrestler, And so there was a lot of fans of his were turning out to all the wrestling meets. And so me and my buddy George Macis were sitting there watching the meet, and he lost. And I'm not exaggerating. There was a riot in there. These walls, like in theaters, are covered with like these real tall curtains that are like 25 feet tall. Man, the curtains were getting yanked down off the walls, and people were going nuts and throwing chairs. And I mean, the stuff was fake.
Yeah.
It was still fun though. We really enjoyed it when we were younger. And they'd have the tag teams. One guy would be getting worked over, and he'd slap hands, and his buddy would jump in and take over. That was always fun to watch too. I don't know if they do that anymore.
Yeah, when I was a kid, every Saturday night it was wrestling and then roller derby. Religiously, every weekend we watched it. We knew all the local, and that was back in the days when it was still being broadcast in black and white. It wasn't even in color yet. But if you're from Dallas, you kind of know these names: Fritz Von Erich, Johnny Valentine, Wahoo McDaniels. I mean, the Iceman. I knew all of them. From
right.
week to week. And I actually went to a wrestling match. This is probably back in the mid '80s, I guess it was.
Right.
First time I ever went in person, and of course, everything's rigged. I mean, they know who's going to win, but those guys have to have some talent. They.
Yeah. Well, hey, look at the stuff they do. I don't know how they don't kill themselves in every wrestling match, the way they jump off the ropes and land and.
Yeah.
They come out of the ropes and land on the ground, and they get hit with chairs, and you got to be tough, and you have to be very, very athletical.
When I was a kid, I used to get so frustrated because every time they hit somebody with a metal chair, they'd always stomp their feet.
Well, I know. Even down on the mat, they'd be hitting with the other hand, trying to make more noise.
Yeah. But it was fun, but I grew up.
It was fun.
I grew up, and it just wasn't,
right.
It wasn't fun anymore.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do a few quick shout outs. First of all, my host here, Dan McNew, has a fantastic YouTube show. Are you still calling it Just the Facts Man, Dan?
Yeah, it's still Just the Facts Man.
Or you
can also find it under Ask a Dan as well.
And Ask a Dan. Yeah, I thought there was a couple of names. And that's ASKEW, Aska Dan. And Aska was the name of a band that Dan used to help manage. Anyway, and we've had their lead singer, heavy metal vocalist, on the show before. I'd like to have him on again. In fact, we've got a guest English musician coming on in a week or so to be interviewed. They had him on the Pink Sock podcast, and that's where I first saw him. And he seemed pretty interesting guy, talked a lot and got a bunch of stuff coming up. Anyway, I got to do a couple of shout outs. First of all, Dan, Just the Facts Man. Outstanding show. I highly recommend everybody go there and subscribe to his channel. I just said the same about Crazy Mama. Everybody give Crazy Mama some love. Caitlin Stoddard. I'm sorry, Kate. Our own Caitlin Stoddard. I got to tell you, I went on Caitlin's show. The last two shows I went on them and went in the chat, and I was really impressed at how her show has gotten just so good. I mean, Kate, you're doing a fantastic job. She pulls all this stuff up on screen and talks about it, about all these different artists and stuff like that. And she's really, that show's just going to take off. So I highly recommend that everybody go to Kate Stoddard's channel and subscribe to it.
She also writes reviews on
She
concerts.
writes reviews. She's like a photojournalist.
Yeah.
I got to mention my good buddy, Dave, the pickup artist. Now, Dave, as you guys know, I have a contest going on right now. I'm celebrating 200 videos on YouTube and also my big drive to hit 700 subscribers. And I think the last time I looked earlier, it was like 625 plus. So it is climbing. So, but Dave, the pickup artist, did his contest entry this evening, and I watched it, and he did a fantastic job. He's got a good show. He really knows his stuff when it comes to music, and I just want to recommend that everybody go to Dave, the pickup artist channel and subscribe to it. You watch it, you'll subscribe to it, you'll want to subscribe to it, and hit that notification bell so you get reminded when he's coming on again, because you're not going to want to miss him. All right.
I got a question about the contest.
Okay.
Now when people submit their videos,
yes,
are you the only one that gets to see the video, or are you going to show
some? No,
videos?
they post them just like any video gets posted on YouTube. Okay. Everybody gets to see it.
Well, where are they being posted?
I asked them additionally to post it. I created a new playlist just called Contest with stars and everything. You can't miss it if you go to my channel. And the only thing I have in it is this contest. And I just ask everybody to go to my contest playlist and go into the comments. And also just the show itself, there's a list of the requirements, what you're supposed to show. Okay. And how you get an extra entry and stuff. But I ask everybody to make a comment in there and let me know when the show is going to air, what day, what time, because I want to make sure I get to watch it, and I want to be able to make sure that I don't miss it going through the YouTube thread and not have them entered into the contest. Yeah. So anyway, so we're working on that. We're celebrating. We're gaining subscribers and just having a fun time, really. I mean, that's what this is all about, is having a fun time. And if I drink enough beer, it's going to get really fun. Green beer in particular. Okay, so that's it. Mike Precode fan. Everybody go see Mike Precode fan. Let's see. Caitlin Stoddard. I'm sorry, the pickup artist. Anyway, all right. Thank you, guys. Let's get back to the list. I was reading through a list of Irish musicians. Okay. Neil Horan, he's a singer-songwriter. Rory Gallagher is a famed guitarist. We've all heard of Rory Gallagher. Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. He's a singer-songwriter, bassist for Thin Lizzy, who we'd already mentioned. Shane McGowan, singer-songwriter. The band he was most famous for being in was a Celtic punk band called the Pogues. Pogues. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. The Pogues. Anyway. Right. Yeah. Okay. Funny name. Okay. The Corrs, Corrs. It's a family band that combines rock and Irish themes. Bob Geldof, an Irish singer-songwriter from the Boomtown Rats. Dermot Kennedy, singer-songwriter. The Script, an Irish rock band. Damien Rice, singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist from the 90s rock band Jupiter. Let's see. See what we have here. Thank you. You're all very welcome. Thank you all for showing up and participating. That's really appreciated. I mean, there wouldn't be any point in having a chat if nobody showed up in the chat. May record the video tonight. Thank you, Kate. Van Morrison. Yeah, we talked about Van Morrison earlier. I've got 3 of his albums, and he's phenomenal. I love Van Morrison. I've always liked him. Brown Eyed Girl, and what were some of those other songs we mentioned earlier, Dan? His biggest hit was Domino.
Yeah,
Oh,
Domino.
Domino. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's see. The Clancy brothers. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have them here anymore. The Clancy brothers. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks for throwing that out there. Okay, Damian Rice, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, 90s rock band Jupiter. I did mention that. Mary Black, a folk singer. Lisa Hannigan, singer, composer, voice actress. That's always been kind of funny to me. They'll take a famous actor, actress, and give them a job just being the voice in some big cartoon. And it's like, they got to be paying them big money to do that. When they could hire anybody, you don't see them. It's just the voice. Anyway, Concert Buddy. What up, Royce? The push to 700 subs begins. Let's get them there. Hey, Concert Buddy, thank you so much, man. It's been a long time coming. I'm kind of a working class podcaster or YouTube channel, it just one at a time. I go to O'Reilly's auto parts. I talk the guy at the counter into signing up, the kind of stuff that goes on. Hey, check this out. Zep Pearl's here. Hey, Zep, how you doing, buddy? You got any Irish bands or actors or stars you want to talk about? We talked about Conor McGregor. We talked about a female boxer that's actually ranked #1 right now as a lightweight and has been #1 in 2 different weight classes. We've talked about Irish whiskey, including Conor McGregor's Proper 12. And so we're just all over the place with our Irish theme tonight. It's the last chance I was going to have to do something, do something Irish before St. Patrick's Day, which is the 17th. So anyway, I thought we'd do something here a little different tonight. Zep Pearl, yeah, good to see you, Zep Pearl. Always appreciate you showing up. Let's see, we got and incidentally, I don't want to forget, Zep Pearl has a great YouTube channel, great show. And I tell you what, you talk about a guy that knows his stuff when it comes to music. Zep Pearl's like a walking encyclopedia. I'm just amazed. And it's always nice to have him here. He knows so much. And he's just a great guy. We love Zep Pearl. So thank you very much for coming. I highly recommend everybody go to Zep Pearl's channel and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when he's coming on again. That would be fantastic. All right. So let's get back to see, Zep Pearl, Angela, hello, Concert Buddy, Vance says no. Okay, all right. So let's see, where were we?
I wish I had more to add, but to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Ireland.
Well, you know what, Dan? I know I have to study. I have to Google things and Google lists of things, and it's impossible to like memorize 7 pages. I mean, it's not like American bands. You want to talk about the Stones, you want to talk about the Beatles,
Yeah.
I mean, we have so much history with these bands and stuff that
people think I'm Irish because my last name is McNew. But
I would have thought that.
Actually, that's a Scottish last name. It's Scottish, but it's not even my real blood name. My dad was adopted. Is that right? Yeah, my dad was adopted.
Okay.
My bloodline is Buckingham, so I'm actually English.
Buckingham?
Yeah.
Oh, that's English. Buckingham Palace. I mean, I think so. Okay, so we've been joined by a few new guys here. It looks like they're all YouTube channelers, and we've got Eddie's Physical Media, and once again. I love going to Eddie's channel. He will play the coolest music, most of which I've never heard before, never heard of the bands either. And I'll tell you what, there isn't anything he's played that I haven't absolutely loved. He plays great stuff. If you really want to be in for a experience, go to Eddie's Physical Media and listen to a show. You're definitely going to subscribe when you're there. I guarantee you're going to want to subscribe when you're there, and hit the notification bell, so you'll know when he's coming on again. Always a good thing. And Eddie's great. He really is. And then my other good friend here is Psycho's Platters. This is great. We get a lot of fellow YouTubers coming on. That's fun. And Psycho has had a channel for, oh my God, 10 or 12 years. I mean, as long as anybody I know. And I pop in whenever I get a chance. You know, it's not easy, but whenever I get a chance, and sometimes I'll watch after the fact. But Psycho's got a fun channel and very, very knowledgeable. And once again, I sound like a broken record, but I highly recommend everybody go to Psycho Platter's channel and subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss them. Okay, thank you. And thank you for being here, Psycho. And thank you for being here, Eddie. I really appreciate you guys. And Zep Pearl, all my new buddies that have just joined us here. And Psycho's Platter, hey, Concert Buddy. Yeah, Concert Buddy's great. Go to Concert Buddy's channel. Subscribe to that. He's got a great show too. Caitlin, thank you to my birth parents. I'm half Irish and half Indian. American Indian or from the country of India? Inquiring minds want to know, Caitlin. Oh, you're very welcome, Eddie. You deserve every bit of it. Mike Precode fan. Psycho's funny too. Psycho is funny. Yeah, thank you, Mike, for adding that.
You know, one thing about the Irish.
Very welcome.
You know, something about the Irish. You know, they're stereotyped as big time drinkers, love and drink.
That's exactly right.
And they don't mind that. They don't mind that they're stereotyped.
No, they don't,
like
do
that. They think it's just fine. Most people, ethnic groups don't like being stereotyped, but the Irish don't care, about the drinking part.
Yeah, that's right. They don't. In fact, it's kind of a badge of courage or a badge of honor, I meant to say. So, Caitlin, Paiute Indian. Oh, okay. I've got some Cherokee in me, but we weren't close enough to get any head rights or free health insurance at the.
Hey, I got part Cherokee as well.
Do you? 16%. Yeah, we can trace back. It's actually like my 5 times great grandfather, Dan Weaver, was a full blood Cherokee Indian.
Yeah, my great grandmother
traced back by my aunt.
Yeah, my great grandmother, they called her the Cherokee Rose.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That was way back then.
Paiute Indian, near Vegas, near Las Vegas or Las Vegas, New Mexico, or no, the Paiutes were near Las Vegas. One of my neighbors used to have an old Navion airplane. He'd fly us to these crazy places out in the middle of nowhere. We land on these dirt strips, and they'd be like old Indian villages. Some of them made out of like mud built into the side of cliffs and stuff, And, if you weren't flying in there and landing on that dirt strip, you'd never know anything like this existed. Just amazing stuff. Drinkers and fighters. That's right. Yeah, Irish are drinkers and fighters.
Dave, the pickup artist. Look what
and fighters, Dan.
look what Dave, the pickup artist, put in there.
Okay, so Caitlin, it was Las Vegas. I thought so. In Ireland, a 7-course meal is a 6-pack and a potato. Dave, that's great, buddy. I love that. The most Irish I get is Thin Lizzy, U2, Van Morrison, Guinness beer, and corned beef and cabbage. You know what, Zep? Right on, man. Yeah, Thin Lizzy, U2, Van Morrison, all of which we've talked about tonight. We didn't talk about Guinness beer. I've got a video of me in London, and I go into a proper English pub, and they've got just the tappers, the draft beer is not like back in the back. They ring the counters, they can just stand there in front of you and tap it. And man, you talk about a lot of draft beer in these places, and the Guinness was actually really popular there. I really like going to England because outside of all of the pubs, there would be a crowd would gather and people would just stand outside and drink beer and talk, after work. And I thought that was pretty cool. Hey, Daddy Bog, how you doing, buddy? Just came from trivia night. I didn't win.
Is that the Beach Boy trivia?
Is that the Beach Boy channel? The Bogster is here. Not sure he likes being called the Bogster. Dan has Cherokee in him. I have seen him on the warpath. That's great. Hey, thanks for being here, Boggs. Concert Buddy. Yeah, Concert Buddy. Everybody go to Concert Buddy's channel. Show Concert Buddy some love. Subscribe to his channel. Hit the notification bell. You're going to want to subscribe if you go there. It's a great show. I like guineas, but it's a bit pricey. Yeah, it is a bit pricey, isn't it? Hi, Kate, Chance, Eddie, Angela, Dave. Boggs is getting caught up here. Stares at the trophy.
That trophy has been around for like 3 years. And I can't remember how it all started.
Yeah, I know.
And it comes in pints. What movie is that line from?
Boy, I just finished my double Pacifico with green dye in it. Bailey's Irish Cream is fantastic. You're absolutely right. That's some tasty liqueur. Yeah, there's some good liqueurs. We have this one that we discovered. It's like a butterscotch schnapps. And you make a spiced apple cider, that you just pour into hot water and stir. And you pour that butterscotch schnapps in there. Oh, my God. Man, that stuff is so good. It's almost addicting. It's so good. It comes in pints. What movie is that line from? What movie is that line from? It comes in pints. I'm not sure. Pints of beer. We don't really call. We don't speak in terms of pints here. I don't think
That's more English.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Comes in pints.
Well, right. Maybe even Ireland too.
Yeah. Hi, Daddy Bog. Another movie quote. Gee whiz, I'll pass on the research. I'm not sure what that is. I put a record album on a trophy after I lost. Hey, I was playing Beach Boys today, Boggs. I made a short video, and I put all. I have this big collection of these. What they're called knotters. They're hula dolls with a magnet in them. They used to set them on the metal dashboards, and they'd shake back and forth. Real popular in the 60s. And for some reason, I kind of went crazy and started collecting them. I was bidding on them on eBay. I have about 20, mostly really old original Hawaiian knotters that do this. And I had that Beach Boys album playing, and I took them all out there and had them lined up in front of my vinyl player and my Beach Boy album and some other, beachy stuff I had all out there. So check out that short. It's called, let's see. It's a surfing song by the Beach Boys, which they have a lot of. But let's see. I think it's Surfer Girl. Yeah. One of my motivations for moving to California were those Beach Boys songs I used to listen to. Yeah. And my neighbor across the street, who was a few years older than me, would play full blast with his front door wide open, and his car club would all show up. They had the plaques in the back window and stuff. And man, did they play the Beach Boys songs. And I tell you, I knew I was going to have to move to California after that. I only mentioned it, Kate, because it was from one of my favorite all-time movies. Well, Mike, what movie was it? Oh, here we go. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings. Okay.
Oh, I never saw it.
For some reason, I never saw those either. The Irish Rover had a popular song, Black Velvet Band. Okay. Van Morrison, biggest song was Brown Eyed Girl. That's what I thought. But as it turns out, it was Domino. Domino was bigger than Brown Eyed Girl. We actually read that earlier, Boggs. I spent half of last week looking up a horror movie quote. It was a hard quote, and hopefully one of my answers are correct.
Okay. Oh, one of those questions, I saw Caitlin post one of those questions. It had something about injecting somebody with Windex.
Really?
Yeah, what movie was that from?
I don't know, man.
I think that's what it was. The question was. And I couldn't think of it.
Well, I'll read a few more of these bands off. If anybody has a comment in the chat, or Dan, if you have a comment, just throw it out there. Rosen Murphy, Ronnie Drew, Westlife, Horse Lips, The Chieftain, Stiff Little Fingers, The Undertones, Boyzone, Glenn Hansard, and Maria Doyle Kennedy. Um, so anyway, I've kind of covered pretty much all the stuff that I had on my list and just stuff that I had memorized.
Daddy
But
Boggs says that Gallagher, the comedian, was Irish.
oh, okay, Gallagher, yeah. So anyway, now we can just chat a bit, all of us, and go from there. I was on Rachel's show a couple of days ago. Rachel's Ghost. Rachel's got a big show. She goes 7 days a week. It starts at 6 o'clock in the morning, and every once in a while I'll be scrolling on YouTube, and she's back in the afternoon doing something, you know. But she's a big supporter of all her fellow YouTubers. I mean, if you have a contest or something, I mean, I went on. Rachel is so influential. I went on her show one day, and that day, after being on her show and being as kind of a guest on the show for a little while, if they're talking with her, I wound up with something like 26 or 29 subscribers from that one day. I mean, that's never been duplicated. I've been on her show several times since, but that was amazing to me to get that many subscribers like that just from showing up and kind of co-hosting just 45 minutes or something like that. She's a very influential person. I mean, she's got great contacts. She's friends with Michael 45. He's got like 30, 40,000 subscribers. And Mazzy, Norman Maslow, referred to as Mazzy, he's got 30 something thousand subscribers, and these are all good friends of hers, and they help each other out. It's actually a pretty good group, very good group, I should say.
Well, wasn't it less than a year ago when she lost her YouTube channel and had to come back?
Yeah, her YouTube channel got taken down. There was somebody, I don't know exactly what happened. I was just kind of shocked. I came on, I went to where she normally was, and there was the Waxed and Rob and a couple of these people that were always co-hosting with her, talking about how she was gone now. And I was kind of in a state of shock, And then I think she had made some comments saying it's probably a good thing. It was getting hard to do, and her significant other was sick and had cancer or something like that. And it sounded like she wasn't even coming back. Then the next thing I know, here comes Rachel's Ghost, and yeah, she came back with a vengeance too.
Yeah, she started out, had to start from scratch all over again.
Start from scratch. No subscribers.
Well, she did have some subscribers that knew what was going on, so they immediately followed.
Oh yeah.
But then it built. Yeah. I mean, every time I go, on one of her shows, she's already got like 200 people viewing.
Oh, I know. She has a big viewership, huge. And in fact, another show that we talk about because he comes on a co-host most of the time is Michael Nolan, The Bottom Line.
Yeah.
And when I first met Michael Nolan, or we had any kind of a chat back and forth, he had something like, I don't know, 400 subscribers, and all of a sudden he had 2,000, 5,000, 8,000. Now he has 23,000. And now this has all happened in the past year, 1 year. And well, he's really got a formula there,
Yeah, and he's also upgrading his studio now.
Yeah,
he started this all off on an iPad.
Oh,
now,
did he really?
And now he's got a big monitor he just installed. He's going to have a big monitor.
Yeah, he did a show today on the 5 best bass guitar players, and on this big screen, the big monitor in the back was all the different styles of bass guitars, including the Hofner so-called Beatle bass. They were all on that big screen in the back. And and he's a bass player himself. He was in bands. He played bass. He wrote songs. He sang. Have you seen any of his? I saw a video of him, 1 or 2.
Oh yeah.
He was singing and playing and stuff. It was pretty heavy stuff too. It wasn't like folk songs or anything. I mean,
yeah, he's a little on the heavy side of the road.
Yeah, no, he was definitely on the heavy side.
But like I said, he's invested more into his studio, so I can only see his videos, getting better. Plus, probably actually expanding, doing other things as well. And that's what people need to do. Keep expanding. I bought. In fact, I got a new toy that I bought the other day. I think I sent you a little message about it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try new things as far as not doing live, but actually creating videos with. I got a new gimbal. So I'm gonna try that out. And
Gotcha.
And it's everything's getting so compact now. You can put this. You can just put the stuff in your pocket, go somewhere, and you see something, pull it out. You got a whole little handheld studio. You know, if
That's
you get,
crazy.
if
Yeah,
you
no,
get,
I need to learn more about that too. Now you had the whole 360-degree camera thing too. You
yeah,
made one video walking through an outdoor mall or something, and I think you used it a little bit on that tribute band that
yeah, oh yeah,
was
the,
in Texas when you guys were waiting for Kiss to show up
yeah, Back in
or
Black, the Back in Black tribute band.
yeah, that's right. You used it a little bit on that, didn't you?
Yeah,
But
I don't really use it so much anymore because
yeah, no,
the editing is so difficult,
oh, I didn't
and
know that.
it's so time consuming. But the end result, you always get good results, but it just takes so much
Right,
time.
right,
And
right,
it's not, I've got that package back up. I'll probably use it every now and then, but
right,
that's one thing about this. You'll try new stuff, and
right.
if it works, you'll use it. If not, you kind of put it
Well,
aside.
that's a good point. Everything doesn't always work the way you want it to at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I got this new gimbal. Now I can do shots where it's just extremely smooth now instead of trying to hold it.
Okay.
When you're walking, you get that up and down going.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With this gimbal, now that I'll just be real smooth going.
Now,
With my
how does it do
shots.
that? How does it do that actually?
It's got 3 axes on it, so it can.
Oh,
Technically, I'm not sure, but it's got 3 different axes on it.
so because it's got 3 axes, as maybe you're jerking a little bit, it can compensate by just moving on those axes or something.
Yeah, it can tell by the weight distribution. When you turn the handle, it can tell the weight has changed, and it adjusts according. I mean, I can sit there and put it on. I can put it on vertical lock, and walk, and that thing will not move at all. It'll keep the horizon perfectly level.
No kidding. Wow, that's amazing.
And then you also got a joystick on it too. I could have it on a little tripod and had a little joystick. I could actually turn the camera. Also, if I was doing a show like this and I was up walking around, it's got a follow me thing on there. So the camera will actually move and follow you around the room, which is pretty cool.
You're kidding me.
Oh yeah, it automatically detects you. And and I also bought some wireless mics as well. Wireless mics are really nice, And
okay.
It's not,
I gotta get busy here and figure this out. I bought this and then I set it aside and I never ever used it. And I know you were on with me one time, but it's a really nice mic, and it's got the vibe. It's kind of insulated where it's kind of stable is what I'm trying to say. But I haven't been able to use it without headsets, and I was trying to avoid that. Now I see you have headsets. What kind of a mic are you using?
I've got I always forget the name of it. It's the most popular brand there is.
Okay.
I can't remember what it is.
Okay. Well, one of these days, maybe we'll get on together and I can play with this one more time.
Well, you start learning, what works best with what, like this microphone I've got, they say you don't want a USB microphone.
Okay.
If it's, so if you get your choice between XLR or USB, go with XLR. But computers don't have XLR hookups, so now you're looking at buying a soundboard. So then you got to interface your soundboard with your computer. So there's a lot of interfacing going on. You got to make sure you got the right cables. But once you get it all set up, it's fairly easy. It's
okay. So that's what you have.
Yeah, I've got a soundboard. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got enough for 4 microphones.
Okay.
4 different other audio inputs.
So the soundboard is kind of an interface between your computer and your mic.
Yeah. My microphone goes to my soundboard. Soundboard talks to the computer.
Gotcha. Okay, that's interesting.
What is the name of this microphone? I always forget. Shure. It's the Shure microphone. Shure 75 or 78.
Okay.
It's basically it's a microphone that most singers use in concert.
Yeah, like a Shure 68's real popular.
Yeah, they're very durable.
Yeah, they are. So anyway, anybody got anything they want to bring up or talk about? Or Dan, you got anything else you want to bring up? We might just end a little early tonight. I've been trying to limit my shows to 1 hour, and right now we're at that 1 hour.
Oh, okay.
And we've kind of gone through our whole Irish little thing, and Rory Gallagher, as that Pearl mentioned, we brought him up earlier, and yeah, he was a very, very popular guitarist. All kinds of stuff. Anyway, I think we're just going to sign off now and uh, not run this any longer. And I want to thank you, Dan, first of all.
I wish I had more to add tonight, but like I said, I don't know much about Ireland or
Oh, I
too
know,
or
I
too many
know.
of their celebrities.
Well. You know what? I mean, you can run out of topics that you're real familiar with real fast. You know, trying to keep the show interesting a little bit. And you know what? I did a keyword search, and one of the most searched for things on Google right now is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't think it was a bad idea a few days before St. Patrick's Day to do a show on St. Patrick's Day. There'll be a lot of people looking for something to watch,
Yeah.
you know. So anyway, it's all like, you know, it's all tied together in so many ways. So anyway, Dan, thanks a lot, buddy. I really appreciate you coming. I never really know 100%, you know. You know, with some of the guys, I have a hard time getting a hold of them because they don't have Facebook, and I don't have email addresses or anything for them. I try to leave comments on their own shows in the comments. Come join me tonight, and sometimes they see them, and sometimes they don't. So, the two of us here, this was kind of a comfortable thing tonight, and I enjoyed it. And I want to thank everybody in the chat and everybody that's going to be watching the show later. You're very appreciated. Get an opportunity, and you want to do a contest entry. I'm giving away a $40 gift card. Pretty simple contest, really. You've got to name three or show three albums that have a song, each of which has a song on it over 10 minutes long. You have to show three soundtrack albums. And let's see, what was the third and final thing? I've been reading too much stuff today, I think.
Oh, one of them had to have a poster.
Yeah, that was kind of a bonus. If you run out, if you want a second entry, so you have a double entry.
Oh, okay.
Show an album with a poster. And so anyway, it's all written out on the contest. I have a separate playlist I set up for contest only. So if you go to my channel, you'll see contest. You go over there, make a comment that you're putting a video on to support me, celebrating 200 videos on YouTube, and my big push to 700 subscribers. And we're climbing right now. And I've had some great people do some videos, contest entries for me, and we're looking forward to it. So anyway, get a chance, go join the contest. $40 gift card to the winner. We've extended the contest all the way out to May 6th, which is my birthday. So please go have fun with it. We're having fun with it. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna sign off. Thank you, Dan. Thanks for everybody in the chat that showed up. And that's what's going on in Royce and Dan's worlds today. And good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good night.